Hello. Welcome to Sabbath School Flashcards. It is Sunday, March 15, 2020, and the title for today's lesson is Prophecies about Persia and Greece. Read Daniel 11:1-4. Reading, Also I in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I, stood to confirm and to strengthen him. And now will I show thee the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, the fourth shall be far richer than they all. And by his strength through his riches, he shall stir up all against the realm of Gracia. And a mighty king shall stand up, that shall rule with great dominion, and do according to his will. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken, and shall be divided toward the 4 winds of heaven, and not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion which he ruled, for his kingdom shall be plucked up, even for others beside those. What do we see here that reminds us of some of the previous prophecies we have seen in Daniel? Gabriel tells Daniel that 3 kings will still rise from Persia. They will be followed by the 4th king, who will be the richest one of all and will provoke the Greeks. After Cyrus, 3 successive kings exert dominion over Persia. Cambyses, 530-522 BC, the false Smerdis, 522 BC, and Darius I, 522-486 BC. The 4th king is Xerxes, mentioned in the book of Esther as Ahasuerus. He is very wealthy, Esther 1:1-7, and marshals a vast army to invade Greece, as predicted in the prophecy. But, in spite of his power, he is repelled by a smaller force of valiant Greek soldiers. It is not difficult to recognize Alexander the Great as the mighty king who arises in Daniel 11:3, and who becomes the absolute ruler of the ancient world. At the age of 32, he died without leaving an heir to rule the empire. So the kingdom was divided among his 4 generals, Seleucus over Syria and Mesopotamia, Ptolemy over Egypt, Lysimachus over Thrace and portions of Asia Minor, and Cassander over Macedonia and Greece. Compare Daniel 11:2-4, which reads, And now will I show thee the truth, behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the 4th shall be far richer than they all, and by his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up all against the realm of Gracia. And a mighty king shall stand up, that shall rule with great dominion, and do according to his will. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken, and shall be divided toward the 4 winds of heaven, and not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion which he ruled, for his kingdom shall be plucked up, even for others beside those. With Daniel 8:3-8. It reads, Then I lifted up mine eyes, and saw, and, behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns. And the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. I saw the ram pushing westward, and northward, and southward, so that no beast might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will, and became great. And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him. And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. and Daniel 11:20-22. Which reads, "The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of Media and Persia. And the rough goat is the king of Gracia. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power." How do these texts together help identify Alexander as the power here? What can we learn from this assortment of names, dates, places, and historical events? First, we learn that the prophecy is fulfilled as predicted by the divine messenger. God's word never fails. Second, God is the Lord of history. We may get the impression that the succession of political powers, leaders, and kingdoms is propelled by the ambition of emperors, dictators, and politicians of all stripes. However, the Bible reveals that God is in ultimate control and will move the wheel of history according to his divine purpose, which ultimately will lead to the eradication of evil and the establishment of God's eternal kingdom. Discuss your answer to today's question in class on Sabbath. This is Witness Glenn. Have a blessed day.